So it's Tuesday, September 17th. As you know, this is the Fed meeting, the 17th and the 18th, 18th being tomorrow, Wednesday, and people are looking to see what the Fed's going to do. Does it really matter? In my opinion, long term, it doesn't. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what I did yesterday and what I purchased and why. This is crypto for the rest of us. I try to do it 6 days a week, excluding Sunday. And then later in the afternoon, I usually do HBAR and ICP as shows specific to that. If I think there's anything newsworthy, I think those two have great momentum and they're doing big things. I always have to say, I'm a big dumb animal. Don't do what I do, informational purposes only. Let's talk about the fact that if there's a train coming towards you, it's big, it's heavy, and it's moving fast. Can you stop it? You can slow it down, but probably can't stop it. So with regard to the Fed, if they drop rates 25 basis points, 50 basis points, 75 basis points, if you're not familiar, it's like a 25 basis points, a quarter of a percent, so a half a percent, 0.75%, whatever. In my opinion, that's going to affect things in the short term. A little bit in the long term when it comes to money availability and whatnot. But I think the market's going to do what the market's going to do, regardless of whether or not they drop rates at tomorrow's meeting, Wednesday. I believe it's 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if someone said, hey, there's a big Band-Aid on your leg, and your leg is really hairy, and we have two options. We can rip the Band-Aid off, and you'll have a lot of pain real quick, or we'll pull the Band-Aid off slowly, and you'll have pain over a longer period of time. Bottom line, the Band-Aid's coming off. You can't stop it. So I think that next year we'll have some economic issues. When you look at things like the housing market being overvalued, real estate will probably come down, some assets might come down, but I'm looking at, like most people, the altcoins having a nice bull run for the next 6 to 12 months and then potentially everything cooling off for a while. I think that's going to happen whether or not rates go up or down. So this week will probably be very volatile because there's a lot of the buy the rumor, sell the news. So there's going to be a lot of day trading, let's say. But I think this is an opportunity. I've said all along that I believe September, like most people you can see from the past, is pretty much a down month. So what do? Well, you look for opportunities. I thought I'd probably wait till the end of the month. So I deployed a little bit of capital yesterday. I actually went away and saw the Jets play the Titans and saw Aaron Rodgers in person on the field, of course. That was cool. So let's look at total three real quick. Overall market. Total three, again, these trend lines I've said before are not perfect. They're just to give you a general idea, but things are somewhat at a downward trend. But if we look at the hourly here, you can see it's had quite a nice jump. Again, not a day trader, but that's just really because of the Fed meeting and some people's expectations. This one we've looked at quite a bit. A lot of people do. Basically says, hey, Bitcoin losing dominance, more money moving into altcoins. It's time to buy altcoins when this is up and Bitcoin's down. That's still trending the right way. So here's what I did. Yesterday, bought some more Wormhole, which I like a lot. It's around 20 cents. Earlier this year, you're looking at $1.20, $1.30. It's a fairly new crypto. If you're not familiar, it's interoperability, message passing. So I think this is an important one. But what's interesting is I believe that this is still a great price. So I bought a little more. We'll see what happens between now and the end of the month. I might buy a little more. But if it just goes back to June, you're looking at a 4x. So I bought some more Wormhole. I'm a big fan of Axelar, and it's around 50 cents. I've talked about this one before. I've got a video on it. You can get in at a price lower than the last round of investors. And if it just goes back to the beginning of this year, that's a 5x. We're not even talking about passing March prices. We're just saying 5x to get back to March. That I thought still looked good, so I bought a little more of that. And then I believe Ethereum is obviously around for the long haul, first mover advantage. So many things built on it. $2,400. That's back to prices that we had in January of this year. It was around $4,000 earlier this year. I think this is a very safe bet. This isn't one that I'm buying. I use this, if you've watched some of my other videos, when it comes to having crypto that I can use as collateral, part of my debanking. And I just figure this is a great price, $2,400. I would not be surprised if it gets to $4,000 by the end of the year next year. Just wanted to point out that if you're looking at different crypto this month, I think you can still find really good buys. I think everything's a good buy, but I'm trying to look at those things that I say, well, at current deflated prices, what and how high can they go? just to get back to March prices. So if you're looking at something that's got a 5 or a 6x, just to get back to March, when personally I believe things will all exceed March prices, I think that's just a no-brainer. Because it's September, and September's not the best month, I've only deployed about half the capital I thought I would deploy this month. Let's see what happens after the Fed meeting. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and hope we can all make generational wealth together with crypto. Bye.